It's Jessica Coulter, the CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. Today we're going to talk about apostrophes. And to help us learn everything we ever needed to know about apostrophes is a special guest. Her name is Synthia, and she is the first ACT contractor, and she's also the president of Dove Copywriting. So Synthia, why don't you say hello?
Hi there. Thanks for letting me work with you today.
Before I turn it over to Synthia to tell you all about apostrophes, just wanted to give you a quick kind of background on Miss Synthia. She is the president of Dove Copywriting. Her URL is right there if you'd like to check her out. She is a graduate with a bachelor's degree from University of Northern Colorado, and she also has her master's degree from Baker. And she's currently working as a copywriter and an English reading or language arts teacher. So we are so glad to have her with us today, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to her.
Jessica, thank you so much for your kind introduction. Now we're ready to start our apostrophes. By the way, I love this animation. I'd like to be on the beach right now. But anyway, apostrophes. There are two main uses. Contractions, words like its or hill, and possessives, bills, dolphins. Now, I've explained to you the two functions of an apostrophe, but maybe it will be best to understand a couple things that an apostrophe is not or does not do before we continue on. Do not use apostrophes when making a word plural. Apostrophes they don't belong on plural nouns. I don't care who told you they did, they do not belong on plurals. Apostrophes and commas are not the same thing. I have students who tell me the apostrophe is that floating comma. If that's how you want to think about it, it's fine. Commas go on the line, apostrophes do not. All right, we've covered some do nots. Let's cover some special rules. One of the things to consider is dates. A lot of dates have an apostrophe in front of them. This is perfectly fine. The apostrophe indicates a contraction. The apostrophe takes the place of the digits that are missing. Our example shows 1950, so the apostrophe takes the place of the 19. Now there is going to be some confusion today because now we're in the 2000s, so you're going to see less of that at least for a while. Another thing to consider is its. It's a special case, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. But ITS shows possession without an apostrophe. Finally, there are grammar purists out there who have a different opinion than those who believe in common usage. Those purists believe that an object or an animal, something non-human, cannot have possession. So for example, today's versus today's with the apostrophe. A purist would tell you it should not have an apostrophe because a day can't own anything or possess anything. However, it is common usage to put the apostrophe there to let you know that today's assignment is to do something specific. So you will see apostrophes.
Hey there, it's Jessica. Just wanted to reach out and let people know who are looking for some one-on-one help. We would love to work with you in person or via Zoom. So maybe you're thinking this would be a lot easier to understand if you had someone there by your side, maybe kind of holding your hand and walking you through it, maybe working on your specific paper. If you'd like to book a lesson, just go to that link on your screen, acecookie-tutoring.com/book online. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get back to the rest of the presentation.
It's time to get serious. Merriam-Webster says a contraction is a shortening of a word, syllable, or word group by omission of a sound or letter. You put two or more words together, you take some of the letters out, and you put an apostrophe in there. We do it all the time. Some examples are its, meaning it is. An example sentence, it's sunny here at the beach. If I say all the words, I'm going to say it is sunny here at the beach. Another example, he'll, instead of saying he will. For example, he'll lie in the sun for hours. I should say, if I was saying it formally, he will lie in the sun for hours. About that, when you're being formal or you're writing a paper for an English class, history class, college paper, you should be formal and you shouldn't be using contractions. It's also important to note that when you use contractions, you can cut down on your word count. Another time to use contractions when it is appropriate is when you're writing dialogue, because dialogue should reflect the way people actually talk. All right, we're on to contractions part 2. It's important you know that contractions can have multiple interpretations. It depends on the context. You got to listen to who you're talking to or what you're reading about. For example, he'd, is that he would or he could? If you read he's, does it mean he is, he has, or even he was? There's a whole bunch of different ways you can see this. There is one other thing that you need to think about that's really important to me, just because it's a pet peeve, and I've seen adults do it, kids do it, friends, and even people that should know better. Don't make this mistake. If you have the word could have, and we say it all the time, could have, should have, would have, people write it down, if they're doing it correctly, as the contraction, could apostrophe VE, because the word you're really saying, or words, could have. It is not could have. Now we've got a special case that we need to talk about. It is so very common, you really need to get this one right. We have it's with an apostrophe, and we have it's without the apostrophe. What's the difference? It's with an apostrophe is a contraction. Remember, that apostrophe is taking the place of a letter. In this case, it's taking the place of the I in it is. It's without the apostrophe is not a contraction. It's with an apostrophe does not show possession. This is important. This is the one, it's a contraction. It does not show possession. It's without the apostrophe, in this unusual case, does show possession. Finally, apostrophe takes the place of one or more letters in the it's with an apostrophe. In the it's with no apostrophe, there are no missing letters.
All right, guys, we have learned everything we could possibly need to know about contractions from Miss Synthia. So let's go ahead and work on a quiz. So on this question, we've got a blank, and it says, blank, going to see the ocean tomorrow. So we have two options here. We have I'm, I apostrophe am, and we have I'm with no apostrophe. So based on what Cynthia's told us, we should be able to figure out which one is correct. So are you ready? You have your guess? Okay. Right answer is apostrophe between the I and the M, because it says, I am going to see the ocean tomorrow. Okay, we've got through the first quiz. Let's go ahead and move on to possessives. Well, we hope you're enjoying this presentation and learning a lot from this video. If you think this has been a wonderful video and you have enjoyed it and thought it was really helpful, I'd love it if you'd leave a comment. Feel free to also share this video with anyone you think could use some information about apostrophes. I know a lot of people struggle with the differences between contractions and possessives and how to just use an apostrophe. So feel free to enlighten someone, as you have learned a lot today and we'll learn some more in the rest of the presentation. Do also know that we do create free resources and tutorials on our website. So if tomorrow you're struggling with math homework, or maybe you also aren't very good at science, We would love to have you visit that link on your screen, acecookie-tutoring.com/tutorial, and there you will find a bunch of other tutorials like this one to help you with your other homework. So thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you soon.
Welcome back. I hope you did a great job on the quiz over contractions. We're going to move on to possessives, still using those apostrophes. Our first example says, its wet tail glistened when the sun touched the dolphin's tail. If you look at that sentence, we've used that its that we've already talked about, no apostrophe, but toward the end, we've got dolphin's tail. We know whose tail it is because it's the dolphin's tail with an apostrophe S. Now, it's also important to note that that is just one dolphin. That's why it's apostrophe S. Our next example, the child's beach toy is a bucket. Whose beach toy? The child's, again, possession. Now, early on, we talked about being a purist. If we're a purist, we're not going to have that dolphin apostrophe S up there. But I'm telling you, common usage today will put that apostrophe there even though the dolphin is not a person. Another thing that's really important to note is that more than one person can possess something. Or it could be another noun if we're talking about a group of dolphins too, for example. So if that's what happens, when we do the apostrophe now goes after the S. Our example, the kid's beach ball needs to be inflated. More than one person, a group of kids, own a beach ball, or perhaps a family with a brother and sister. Two of them have beach ball, so now it is kids, and then the apostrophe is after the S. Now we're continuing on with possessives and using apostrophes. There are some special rules out there that you need to be aware of. There are irregular plural nouns. And when you have one of those, you add an apostrophe S to the end of that plural word. One of those words that we could look at would be children. That one isn't made plural by adding S or ES. It's changed to children. So the children's beach toys are made of plastic. We put an apostrophe S after the children. Same thing on woman. When it becomes plural, it's now women. We would say, where are the women's changing rooms with that apostrophe S? All right. If you've paid attention, if you take the quizzes, and if you want more practice, if you look at some of the things that Jessica offers, you'll be ready to go with apostrophes. But just for the joy of it, we've got this bonus for you today. Multiple apostrophes are possible in one word. It's a real thing. Let me give you an example. I say this one. You shouldn't have done that. Oh. If you looked at it without putting my apostrophes in there, it would be should not have done that. How about I'd have done it if you asked me? Don't believe that, but if you want to. It should be I would have, but like I said, you can put the apostrophes, I apostrophe D apostrophe VE. And finally, how about this one? Y'all's car is really nice. That's right. You all's car is really nice. I hope you have a nice car and a great day.
All right, guys, time for quiz number 2. So Cynthia has told us about apostrophes. We've learned all about contractions and possessives. So we are ready to work on some examples and make sure you've got everything down. So this number 2 says, over there, blank, find the snack bar. So our options are you will and your. So we need to decide which one makes sense in that blank. Now, in order to answer this, take a moment to think about what your stands for. It's a contraction, so what are the 2 words that it represents? Are you ready? The answer is you will. Your makes no sense for this example. You are is what your represents. Okay, we're ready for the next one. Here is example number 3. So it says, the blank can be seen from a boat. Our choices are whales with no apostrophes and whales with an apostrophe after the S. Okay, so the question to ask ourselves, do the whales possess anything? Do they own anything? And the way we figure that out is by looking to the word that is to the right of where whales will go. So to look at the blank, and we have the word can to the right of whales. So do the whales possess the word can? Because if they do, we need to use the apostrophe. If they don't, we do not need an apostrophe. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is whales with no apostrophe. So this is an example of a plural, so we would not use an apostrophe. Okay, I hope you are doing well on the quizzes so far. We've got quiz number 4 and quiz number 5, so we're almost done. Quiz number 4 says, on Friday, Jim is going to blank party. We have 2 options again. First option is Kim's with an S and then an apostrophe, and the other option is Kim's with apostrophe S. So remember, Cynthia told us when to use S apostrophe and when to use apostrophe S. So if you don't remember, you might want to go back and re-listen to that slide before you make your guess. So here we go. The answer is Kim's with apostrophe S. So the way we answer this is we have to decide how many Kims there are. If there's only one Kim, then it's apostrophe S. Now something to think about, you might know a Kim last name person. Now if that was the case, it would say Jim is going to the blank party. And if we had the word the, we would know that Kim is a last name and we would have chosen the other answer. So again, we're choosing apostrophe S because there is only one Kim and Jim is going to Kim's party. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of the PowerPoint. So we are ready for quiz number 5, and I'm going to give you a hint that has to do with plurals. So the question is, the blank hats are very small. Now this one's a little tricky if you weren't paying attention. So I have babies with an S followed by apostrophe S, and then I have babies with an S at the end and an apostrophe. So again, think very carefully between these 2 answer choices. Okay, so here is that very last answer. Babies with an S at the end followed by an apostrophe. Now, do you remember why it's this option instead of the other one? If you don't, I would highly recommend going back and re-looking at that previous slide and making sure you listen carefully to what Cynthia has to say. Okay, that is everything I have for you, so thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've learned everything you could possibly need to know about apostrophes. If you have any other questions or maybe would like to work with Cynthia or myself one-on-one, whether it's in person or online, love to work with you. Feel free to schedule a lesson at www.acecookie-tutoring.com/book-online. And if you're looking for other videos like this one, or maybe about different subjects since it's science or math, we do have more resources for purchase and tutorials at www.acecookie-tutoring.com/shop. And finally, just want to let you know we do have an email list. So if you'd like to stay in the loop and get our monthly newsletter and find out about our monthly special, please send us an email at acecookie-tutoring@gmail.com. We'd love to have you join our list and keep you up to date and tell you everything that is happening with Ace Cookie Tutoring. So thank you so much for your time, and we do look forward to talking to you soon.